You might be wondering by now about the first crime that was solved using DNA fingerprinting. On the 21st November 1983, a 15-year-old girl named Linda Mann left her home to visit a friend's house. She did not return. The next morning, she was found raped and strangled on a deserted footpath known locally as the Black Path. Using forensic science techniques available at the time, police linked a semen sample taken from her body to a person with type A blood and an enzyme profile that matched only 10% of males. With no other evidence, the case was left open. At that time, the blood grouping was one of the main tests used before the DNA fingerprinting for solving crimes. On 31st July 1986, another 15-year-old girl, Dawn Ashworth, took a shortcut instead of taking her normal route home. 2 days later, her body was found in a wooded area near a footpath called 10-Pound Lane. She had been beaten, raped, and strangled to death. The method matched that of the first attack, and semen samples revealed the same blood type. The prime suspect was Richard Buckland, a local 17-year-old youth who revealed knowledge of Ashworth's body and admitted the crime under questioning, but denied the first murder. Alec Jeffries of the University of Leicester had recently developed DNA profiling along with Peter Gill and Dave Warrett of the Forensic Science Service, and detailed the technique in a 1985 paper. Gill demonstrated that it was possible to obtain DNA profiles from old stains. The biggest achievement was developing the special extraction method to separate sperm from vaginal cells. Without this method, it would have been difficult to use DNA in rape cases. Using this technique, Jeffries compared semen samples from both murders against a blood sample from Buckland, which conclusively proved that both girls were killed by the same man, but not Buckland. Buckland became the first person to have his innocence established by DNA fingerprinting. Jeffries later said, "I have no doubt whatsoever that Buckland would have been found guilty had it not been for DNA evidence." These scientists then undertook an investigation in which 5,000 local men were asked to volunteer blood or saliva samples. This took 6 months and no matches were found. A bakery worker, Colin Pitchfork, paid $200 to his colleague to give samples on his behalf. Pitchfork had claimed that he wanted to avoid being harassed by police because of his previous convictions. Almost 2 years after the screening, the colleague revealed this to fellow workers, and a woman overheard the conversation and reported that to the police. A month and a half later, Pitchfork was arrested at his home, and a sample was found to match that of the killer. During subsequent questioning, Pitchfork admitted the sexual assault and killing the victims in order to protect his identity. He pleaded guilty to the 2 rape and murders and was sentenced to life imprisonment. This case study is important to give you an idea of how DNA fingerprinting has revolutionized the process of solving crimes.